Oh, welcome back, everybody, to the Dusty Bender podcast. Holy shit, that's the first time I've ever stuttered on that. Gotta mark that down on the counter.
You
Jesus,
suck now, dude.
the
You're
Dusty.
falling off.
I know it's time to hang him up. The Dusty Bender podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chance. With you as always, Taylor and Aaron. Folks, we've got some hockey talk. We got some playoff hockey talk. Coming off just an awesome episode. Once again, I know we said it a lot before, but shout out to Bobby Ryan coming on the last episode, and awesome to have him coming on after the first round. Pay some bills real quick, folks. Hub Tavern out in Spokane, Washington. Check it out. It's awesome. They're part of the Anchor Alliance. They're affiliated with the Seattle Kraken. They're cash bar. Don't go in with debit cards. They don't believe in them. There's no electricity there. Just kidding. There is electricity there. You can watch lots of hockey games. Dave and Mona are awesome. Tell Dave the Blackhawks suck. He'll like you even more. Just down the road, a hop, skip, and a jump is Monterey Cafe. You can go in there and tell Jeff that the Penguins suck, and he'll probably love you more. Just kidding. He'll probably throw you out on the street where the hobos will feast on you. That got really dark real fast.
I heard it's called transients anyways. You're not supposed to call them hobos anymore.
Oh, is that the proper nomenclature now?
Yeah, I think that's what we're calling them.
All right. Well, add it to the list of things that this show's going to get canceled for.
It's all right. Scratch it.
So jump on down to Monterey Cafe, and if Jeff doesn't throw you to the transients, you can go in there and sing your little heart out, have some amazing pizza, all affordable prices. Anybody behind the bar is an absolute gem. Go on in there. They're both fantastic bars down in Spokane. So if you're passing through Eastern Washington, rather, check them on out. Also got to give a shout out to our longtime listener, longtime supporter of the show, Fire Chief John Miller, who is just ecstatic right now. I'm sure his Nashville Predators have climbed back into that series, tied at 1. We'll get into that here in a little while. But good for Johnny Boy, and thanks for supporting the show. And last but not least, we are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. The network just hit a huge milestone, 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. We'll be jumping on over there here probably on Sunday or so for a live stream. So make sure you check us out on that. And probably the biggest news with the Hockey Podcast Network is that we are officially the most knowledgeable hockey hosts in the network after winning the Fantasy League. 20 team league. Man, it's sometimes it's fun just to brag, even if it's like a 6-team league. But man, 20 teams. That's here's to us.
Hey man, that honestly that is pretty impressive. I'll toot our own horns for us, but yeah. We on the two podcasts previous to this, we were getting a little cocky, and motherfucker made a push, dude.
He did. He really did.
Because I think we did it was like a week, like a 10-day. Like a 10-day finals, just based on butting it up to the end of the season. So yep. It got a little hairy after what I think he had fresh legs, and we definitely, our team went hard in the first week.
That's right.
Show up for the second,
right. They tried to make a push, but they just couldn't finish it out. Dusty Bender boys taking home the championship in that one. Only got like one congratulations, but that's fine. Whatever, I get it.
Yeah,
not a big deal. Yep. All right. Boys, we got to get to the talk of the show. As with most of our playoff episodes, we're going to go series by series and just talk news. But before we get into the series, anything that's non-series related, probably the biggest news coming out of here, Taylor, PK Subban apparently, allegedly, has a ginormous penis.
Yeah, and if you don't believe him, just fucking ask him, because he loves to say it on live TV that he does. So
the quote is, "I'm not a carpenter." This is out of context. "I'm not a carpenter, but I carry around a hammer." And Taylor, I'm going to kick this over to you because I really want an in-depth discussion on this. After hearing this quote, it makes me think that he actually is a carpenter.
Yeah.
Like, is this classic misdirection? Is PK Subban moonlighting as a carpenter? Like, is he just making beautiful landscapes and kitchens?
Yeah, I mean, until I've seen it, right? I'm gonna think it's like this tiny little thing you put up, wall art with, like those tiny little nails you put in. So, I mean, until I see it, that's all I'm gonna think of. But
you think he does flooring?
Yeah, I think he's definitely a flooring guy. Yeah.
Okay. You guys link up. You do the flooring. He does the carpentry.
Yeah.
You guys
I'll check with him.
That's a business right there. I tell you what.
Yeah, we can definitely get into that. But yeah, it's so fucking random, dude. Like literally, like so I was watching. It was on the point, I believe, or actually it might have been between periods. I don't remember, but
I
I was
believe it was in between periods. Yeah,
was it in between periods? Yeah,
I think so.
either way, I could tell watching the point before those games. He was on some weird fucking energy, dude. Like he was on some weird shit, and Messier was kind of standoffish. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? So yeah,
I think that's just Messier. That's just how he is. Like he is always just the most like kind of robotic, like not super comfortable. Whereas like Piquant, like he's trying to do the biz. I'm bring the energy.
Yeah.
He's I'm the Charles Barkley of this show, right? Like he's that guy. So and like that's the role he fills, and like so yeah, he just says shit, and then Messier gets uncomfortable. It's like basically the dynamic. Like,
I mean, I would like us three can joke about that shit, right? Like, we don't even bring that up that often, right? Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. How are you gonna say this with a couple 100,000 people tuning in? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's crazy.
Look, man, I don't believe necessarily in like getting offended by that shit, but there is comedic timing, and Biz has picked up on it. Or it's just because who Biz is. Like Biz is so unashamed of anything. Like I don't think that guy has the capacity to be embarrassed by anything. So it doesn't like he can say that in front of everybody and it's still funny. Whereas PK, I don't know, like so Taylor, I don't think I ever told you this. I did spend a 4th of July barbecue with Mark Messier once. For some reason he was in Bayview, Idaho when I was way younger. And he was there, so I know him pretty well, obviously. But Aaron's right. He's a pretty stoic guy, and when if they would have embraced it and the timing was been a little better, it might have been funny or funnier or maybe even less awkward, I guess. But yeah, it's the timing wasn't good, and you don't go to those broadcasts expecting that. Like maybe what is Biz on the TNT broadcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's him, Liam McHugh, Gretzky, and then Anson Carter.
And we're starting to get to that point where that one's kind of more lighthearted and funny, Like I at that point, like Gretz is loosening up a bit after like his 20th gin and coke or something.
Emphasis on the second part,
right? So you get to that panel and you expect the fun, But I don't know with PK. PK is animated, but he's not that. And I guess you're right. It just kind of seemed awkward.
It definitely was him trying to be like Biz, and he doesn't have that. Like Biz ties it in a little bit. The comment came out of fucking nowhere. Like
it was,
fuck, dude. Like, that's just. It honestly, it seems like somebody at the end of the night who's just hammered, and all of a sudden it just pops into their brain like, you know what? I'm not a fucking carpenter, but like, what the fuck, dude? It was unreal.
Listen, he's been working graveyards in his side carpenter job.
Why are you working at night if you're fucking trying to hit nails, bro?
He's got light. I think he can afford some night lights.
Yeah, he needs a better job.
by day carpenter, by night hockey analyst.
Yeah, that's hopefully that's what it is. Yeah, that's why you don't see him on the weekends.
That's right. He's off. He's got gigs, man.
Going on. Yeah, he's got shit going on.
That's a good time to be a carpenter nowadays. I bet I think there's good money in that.
You hope so.
There's also good money in having a big dick, so there's that too.
That's true.
Yep.
OnlyFans.
All right. Moving on. Also off ice stuff that is fairly significant. The Sabres hire Lindy Ruff, and for those who know the Sabres, which would just be the people in Buffalo, Lindy Ruff was with this team from 97 to 2013. Winningest coach in franchise history. I mean, obvious considering he was there for so many years. Taylor, is this a good move for the Sabres?
I mean, what? Why the fuck not? Fucking
that's inspiring.
Seasons. Sure, like 13 seasons not making the playoffs. At some point, I guess dip back into the well. Like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, if you think of those numbers, right? So from 97 to 13, I mean, technically he only had two losing non-playoff seasons, right? Got canned, and then, or I guess at the end of it, right? Like and
They went to the cup final once.
Yeah, but I mean, why not try it out again, right? If 13 of those years, only 2 of those are Lindy Ruff not making the playoffs, right? So it's fine. I think there's better options out there instead of just recycling these fucking same guys. And not saying that bringing in Berube isn't fucking recycling coaches, but try something else. So I personally, it's whatever. It's Buffalo. They're still going to probably fucking lose, but might as well try something else. I don't know.
The rumor is that they did try to go after Berube.
Well, yeah, he's probably like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, he's like, nah.
13. It'll be 13 more.
I don't necessarily see him. I don't know. Like he had some really good teams there with Buffalo. Like, I mean, I know this sounds strange, but there was a time where Buffalo wasn't just like an absolute laughingstock. Mm-hmm. They had Dominic Hasek on their team, and then even after that, the Ryan Miller years definitely had some
Marty
in them.
And fucking Marty Biron, dude. Like, I mean, but that's the thing, tendies, right? Like,
So there was some hope for a time, but so I don't know. Maybe they're just hoping. I don't know. They're hoping maybe for some stability or something. I don't know if Lindy's going to bring that, but I guess it's not a bad hire. I guess we'll put it that way. It's just not good.
It's uninspiring. Like of the guys available, like Berube, Dean Evison, Jay Woodcroft is still available. Like of all those guys, like Lindy Ruff is he's gonna get this team. Like I get that, and maybe they're looking at New Jersey as a proof of concept. Like he took a team that had young talent and got something out of them. Like maybe that's what they're thinking, but like even still, like I think I just feel like there's better guys available, and for him to be the first one off the board is like really odd and surprising.
I hear Babs is available.
Yeah, is he though?
Yeah, that has Gary proved that. Yeah,
he might actually take that job now with Buffalo. So before he got the job with Toronto, Buffalo tried to snag Babcock, and Babs said no. So
who would you rather have right now, Joel Quenneville or Mike Babcock? Like what's a better PR?
Joel Quenneville.
Joel Quenneville.
Okay.
Joel Quenneville in a heartbeat. I understand the Joe Quenneville thing is a sensitive subject, but like it's more of like Joe Quenneville was more. I know we're splitting hairs here, but this is like in terms of law, Joe Quenneville is like he knew of the crime, whereas Babcock is the crime.
Yeah, sure.
But you know what I mean? Like it's I understand they're both not great, but like Quenneville did what he had to do to win the Stanley Cup. And again, I understand the context. That sounds horrific because the circumstances, we don't need to rehash all that, but like, I don't know. I put Quenneville a bit, plus Quenneville's a much better coach in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even in Babcock's height, like Quenneville's a better coach.
Yeah. There's more of the issues with Quenneville are in his personality and his judgment, not in his ability to coach a hockey team.
Right.
Whereas Babcock was showing to not be a good coach. Like,
right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right. Time to, also the Sharks fired David Quinn. Who could have seen this coming?
But why? Like, he did what he was supposed to do. He 100%. Lost you a bunch of hockey games. And like,
100%.
What, like, are you going to be better next year? No.
Well,
like, I just don't understand. Like, why are you firing him now? And who are you going to bring in when like you're still just going to be bad and like transitioning? Like,
how's their AHL team?
Barracuda are okay. It's just like your cupboards are just starting to get stocked. Quinn needs to be, and I keep relating this to the Ducks. Quinn needs to be your fucking Eakins, right? He needs to be who was the guy in Detroit who was just the fucking the punching bag.
Blashill,
right? Like he needs to be that guy because and Greer even said, like, don't quote me on this. We'd have to go dig it up somewhere. Greer even said in the exit interviews, like, we plan to be a much better team next year, right? Like that to me tells me he thinks so highly of his half cupboard of prospects that he thinks they're going like, we're going to be right back in it next year. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Like,
no.
The only devil's advocate you can say to that is, how could you be worse?
Yeah, sure.
Like that's the only like positive argument I could give to him.
But
Without even
like you're just
roster.
bringing someone else in to be that guy, right? Like
right.
You fire Dallas Eakins to then hire Dallas Eakins, right? Like no one's getting like anything out of this group as currently constructed. Like,
yeah, bringing in Berube. What does Greer think he's bringing in Berube or Quinville type or even Evanson? Like, no fucking way, dude. You're not going to do that. They're gonna look at your roster and your prospects and they're going to go, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to endure 3 years. I can be like, not ever, and people will bring up, right? Like, oh, look what Torts did with Philly, and look what Brunette did with Nashville and shit like that. That's not the same. Those aren't the same teams.
No,
that Sharks team is bad, dude. Their top defenseman is Mario Ferraro, and nothing against Mario Ferraro. He's a pretty decent D in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah,
right. Like, he's just not. And Henry Thrun is another. Just to bring that in, like,
let's not even get started with goaltending.
What the fuck are you gonna do for goalies?
Don't even start talking about it. Like, it's not even worth.
It's the kid that you really like, the dark poet society kid.
Oh yes, Kakkonen.
No, not Kakkonen. Who's the kid that said, like, it doesn't actually matter if I save these bucks?
Well, he's like their third string. He's their third string guy. Like, I mean, they were running Kakkonen and Mackenzie Blackwood, which is you want to lose some hockey games.
It's beautiful.
They had 19 wins this year. 19.
That's
they played 82 games. They had 19 wins.
That's so terrible.
They had the worst fucking goal differential in like 60 years or something stupid, right? Like, what are you thinking, dude? What are we doing here?
So
it's a terrible move.
You're right. Why? No. But maybe Greer is trying to be optimistic and saying that they're going to move. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Who knows? All right. Ready to talk some good teams? All right, let's do it.
Right.
So as we record this, we are recording on these are the problems with all the playoff episodes, like they're going to be a little old by the time they reach you guys. But so we're recording on Thursday, April 25th at 7:43. The Florida Panthers have just taken down the Tampa Bay Lightning at home or away on the road in Tampa for a 3-0 lead, commanding stranglehold in the series. Aaron, I actually want to kick this one over to you because in the last episode, you had Tampa winning this one. I won't rub this too much in your face. I liked the spunky pick by all means, but I don't think any one of us saw a sweep, right?
No, not. Absolutely not. And you look at the way that Tampa's played, like Tampa has not played bad. They're not getting run out of the building. Like game 1, Stamkos has a one-timer in his office to tie the game late. Like, you have an overtime loss in there. Like, they're in these games. It's just they're just one play behind, and it's tough. At some point, Florida's really good, and they're just showing that they are not the little brother anymore. It's really impressive.
It's taken them a while to do it, but yeah, I mean, I agree, and it was bound to happen. Tampa's reign of making the stand. They remind me of the Red Wings. The old school Red Wings where they're making the playoffs every year. They've always got a kick at the can. Maybe they're not the favorites this year, but they've always got a shot, kind of thing. And then they're due. I mean, in 2-3 years, Tampa and the Penguins are going to be some of the worst teams in the league. Give it just it's right around the corner. They're going to be bad. So, and the decline might be starting even as early as next year for both of those franchises.
Kucherov's got to be better too.
100%.
They got here because Kucherov was superhuman, and he has not been that in the playoffs.
He didn't rest all season.
They need him. They need him to pick it up because
they're
not going to make it otherwise. Yeah.
To me, he's banged up. So watching that game today against Florida, he just looked like he just doesn't have that confidence. And I think a lot of that comes with, right? If you're a little banged up, you don't want to take that extra little bump into the boards, and you know, you don't want to make that extra cut because your ankle's, you know, a little fucking weak right now, right? I think there's something going on with him. I don't want to give him excuses because he's looked like shit. He has. And Stammer looks like he deserves a $10 million fucking contract next year.
Right.
Like
right.
he's
playing
good,
to stay in
dude.
Tampa.
Exactly.
He's playing to let him retire in Tampa.
Yeah, 100%. He is trying. Like, he's had some really good chances. Like, he scored tonight, and like,
he had one tonight. He's got 3 goals in 3 games. Like, there's not much more he can do in the playoffs, man. Like, he looks.
And
Fazzy
hasn't been bad either. So I mean, he's not great, but he's not bad. They're not losing because of him.
No, that's the thing. Like, Tampa is playing well. Like, Florida is just playing a little bit better, and it's tough. Like, Bob's been really good too. Like,
oh god. So I mean, if you haven't seen it already, look up the Bobrovsky save in Game 2, where he flails. I mean, that's the save of the playoffs, arguably the save of the season. Definitely an incredible. Aaron, you want to pull that up?
I'll see if I can find it.
Thank you. So that's just it's Florida is currently playing, and tell me if this makes any sense. Florida's currently playing like the first, second, and third rounds. It's the cup. The cup is what we care about. Like, this is all just annoying stuff in between. If we could just play these 4 games one day after the next, we would do that so we could get through this and move on to the next round. Because this is beneath us. This is below us. We've got unfinished business in the Stanley Cup final. That's how they're playing right now. There's a swagger. There's a confidence. There's almost like when they play Tampa, it's like, okay, we are better than you. We know it. We're going to push through this, and we're going to move on. We're already scoping out the next round kind of thing. They just seem so confident. They seem like they are ready for another cup run. And with how they're handling Tampa, I just don't. Again, Taylor, you and I had. Oh, here we go. Taylor, you and I had Florida, and I think that's the favorite pick. But man, they're really just. I wouldn't say dominating, but they're beat. Oh, what a save!
That's so stupid, dude. That's just fucking. That's will, dude. That's just fucking willpower.
Little luck.
That's all that is.
Also,
there's a lot of luck in that, but that's just pure willpower, dude.
And so in Tampa, they had this game, or they had this save go against them, and then they had a goal tonight that got called off because on an offside challenge. Like, and those are the differences in those 2 hockey games. So like they're right there. But they're just 1 play behind Tampa, and that's tough. But sometimes that's going to happen with good teams.
That's age too, right? Like, I know that it sucks to say that. Like, Tampa has been such a powerhouse for so long. We don't like to say it, but they're not getting better. They're getting older and slower. And even to shout out Sid the Kid here, not so kid anymore. He's talked about it, how he's had to evolve and change his game as he gets older because he just doesn't have the speed as he did when he was 28. He's had to become a playmaker. He's had to become a better passer. He's had to get bigger, like these things he's had to change in his game to get better. And I'm not saying that Tampa's not doing that, but the run and gun speed, kill him with just relentless pressure. I don't know. It's another year, man. I just don't know if it's the usual suspects that you want to see, but you look, they're right here looking up at the Penguins and the Caps saying, oh, that's our future.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I really liked what Paul Maurice said tonight. Basically, knew that at some point during the game, his team was going, like, Tampa being the home team, was going to have about 10 minutes of just good.
I saw that quote. Yeah.
They're just, I forget the exact quote, but basically, like, they're going to dominate 10 minutes. Like, we just need to prepare for that to be 10 minutes. And then he followed that up by saying, we just need to make sure that that's their only 10 minutes. Right. And I think they did a fucking great job. I think that's the mindset that they have. I think Paul Maurice is doing a fucking great job with that team. And I think it's a big thing that they have done it more recently than this Tampa team, right? Having been there last year, upsetting the Bruins and upsetting the Maple Leafs and stuff like that, right? Like, yes, those are upsets. This team is very, very built on paper. And they're showing it again this year. So at some point, we got to just say Florida is just a better team. I think that's probably where we're at.
Yep. All right, let's move on to another series where there's clearly a better. I'm just kidding. Boston and Toronto. As we record this, Boston is up 2-1 in the series. They've got a strange 2-day. Like, there's no travel involved. They're just in Toronto for 2 days. Very strange.
Yeah. Jim Montgomery very mad about it.
Pissed.
It's a very strange. Like, I don't know about. I'd be pissed, but I'm sitting here going like, why do I have such a weird layover between games 3 and 4? It's I don't know.
I don't disagree with him, but
maybe the arena's got something going on. But in any case, Boston's up. What is it? 2-1 in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There is a lot to unpack here. Maybe we go.
Series.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Mm-hmm. Like, we obviously have been wanting and anticipating this. We talked about it even before the playoffs. If the hockey gods love us, they'll give us this matchup again, just to curse Toronto fans. And so far, we're getting our wish. I think I'm going to say my favorite thing that's happened so far, and then I'm going to kick it over to you guys for some analysis. But Brad Marchand scoring the game-winning goal, 3-2 in this last one, and then going by the Leafs bench and saying, it's over in 5.
Yep.
That's pretty solid.
That is just that you want to get under somebody's skin. Say that right after you just tripped Tyler Bertuzzi in front of a ref and then scored.
Yeah. Dude, that's a really good moment. There's just been some really good moments, and I think a lot of it is because it's a fucking Twitter battle between fans on this shit, and I think it just makes it even funnier. Like the Frederick goal, I'm impartial on the Frederick goal in the last game because, Marchand and Bertuzzi are going at it. Bertuzzi, I think, does dive. I think Bertuzzi also hauls down Marchand, but Marchand does get his stick in his feet. They should have probably taken them both, but they let him play.
You watched the full play, and they had been fucking with each other for the last 10 to 15 seconds.
From the corner to the fucking.
We only see the tripping incident that's near the blue line. Right. If you watch the whole play, they had been fucking with each other for a little bit now, and Bertuzzi definitely got his shots in on Marchand. Right. And so I'm actually kind of in the Boston camp on this one of Leafs fans need to shut the fuck up.
Let them play.
They were going after it. That's playoff hockey. And then even if they weren't, Bertuzzi was not covering Frederick. That was not his man. Obviously, Bertuzzi was covering Marchand. So, the idea here of Marchand took Bertuzzi out, and then that gave Frederick the no, that wasn't his guy. Dude, so I don't even buy that.
Toronto still had 2 guys back on D and a fucking goalie, and Frederick shot from the fucking top of the circles.
Sammy plays so good. Sammy plays so good.
It's just, to me, just crazy. So and that's the thing, right? These two battling all fucking series, neither of them are gonna get the fucking calls, dude. If it's Bertuzzi on Marchand, they're gonna let that shit go because they'll be calling penalties all fucking game if that's the case, right? So it's just that one, to me, that one's funny. I think it's funny to see some of the stuff, the Domi and Swayman shit.
Yeah.
I think the other big one that
Swayman sold that
he sold the shit out of that one. But you also don't hit the goalie, right?
Yes.
You put a shoulder in that goalie, and I'm a Boston Bruin. I'm not Pat Maroon.
Right.
I'm very little, but I'm two-handing the fuck out of Domi, dude. Right? You know not to do that shit. So, in that regard, right? Sorry, Leafs fans, he shouldn't have done that. It was clear fucking sell.
Oh,
I totally agree with that, but come on, dude.
I'll even admit, and tell me if you agree with this, Toronto's, I would say, probably even outplayed Boston, not by much, but I'd even give them 55% of the time.
It's goaltending.
Yeah. This is the best playoff hockey the Maple Leafs might have ever played. They're physical, they're making plays you're getting contributions from Austin Matthews playing well. They're playing really well.
Let me throw it to you guys. Let's go through the big 5 here. Matthews grade so far. How's he playing? Mm-hmm. Rapid fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's playing good.
Yeah, he's good.
His line mates are the difference maker though. Bertuzzi and Domi with him, huge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Marner.
He's been bad. Matthews is showing that he can play without Marner. Mm-hmm. Marner is showing he cannot play without Matthews.
It's fair.
Like Matthews is showing this season, you give me Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi, I'll still score 60 goals, and he's getting it done in the playoffs. And without Marner, or like Marner without Matthews down the middle, he is not that. And he's also showing he's not built for the playoffs. Like
100%.
If I'm the Maple Leafs, like, and this goes sideways, like, I would really move on from.
He's got 1 point, I think, like 1 assist.
Yeah. He had the 1 assist to Nyes, which was a really nice pass. But he's really showing that he's kind of been a Matthews merchant a little bit, and they've given him everything he has ever wanted. And like, so if I'm the Maple Leafs, that negotiation is going to be real rough if he doesn't pick it up.
Right. All right, Taylor. Johnny T.
Johnny T's playing like I think a second line center would play, right? And I think what Johnny T brings to the table is Johnny T actually doesn't quit, right? Like he will put in the work, and I think that translates to playoff hockey. So he's not putting up 1,000 points like I'm sure Leafs fans want him to do. I think he's playing the game like he's supposed to.
He's putting in the work, man. Like of the guys that we're gonna name here, I think he's been the hardest worker.
Yeah, he looks great.
In my 2 cents on that. That's totally okay. Aaron, throwing an interesting one at you. Riley.
Morgan Riley?
Yep.
He's been okay. I think he's been Morgan Riley. Like he's a pretty good puck moving defenseman. He's okay in his own end, and he'll sometimes make a play or two for you. Like he's been Morgan Riley. Like he
hasn't been fucking up.
No, yeah, he's, or at least not like, he's not making like huge plays, but he's doing the things that you would expect him to do. Like he gets the puck going north, he wins a couple battles, he's like got a good shot. But like, is he, a lockdown, like shutdown defenseman? Like, no, that's not what you're paying him to be. Like,
so
yeah, he's been okay.
They're not losing because of Riley.
No, he's not.
All right, now Taylor, perhaps expand upon this might be a reason why they are losing. How's old Willie Nylander doing?
Hey man,
I feel like he's not noticeable out there.
Yeah, it's like he's not even showing up to the fucking games.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so I had a couple concussions when I was younger, and that shit sucks. Like I get it, and I think that's kind of the speculation that we're at right now is he had something happen in game 82, which is crazy to be playing him in game 82 for.
Why would you have him in game 82?
Which is it's stupid in general, but
if you're in the playoffs and you hit game 82, like if you've been locked for a week or two already, like half the roster should be the fucking AHL guys.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I think the concern with Nylander is you paid him a bunch of money. He can perform in the playoffs. He's done it. He did it last year. He can play some really good hockey in the playoffs, and he's not out there, right? So, Leafs are never going to say, "Well, he's got a headache," and but we're going to send him out a little early and see if Pat Maroon doesn't light his fucking world up, right? Like they're never going to do that. So. I mean, they're taking it, one step at a time with him. I think if they go down 3-1, it sucks to say, but I think there's a very good chance that we see him medically cleared all of a sudden, right? But I think
they need him back.
You can't fuck with that shit, and they do. I think there's a very good chance that this series is at least 2-1 Toronto. If he's there, right? Like
a healthy him.
He's a healthy him. I think he's that means
it's
that
a
much
big hit. So it's not nothing.
It is a big hit.
Yeah. I'll throw the final one over to you, Aaron, because I'll add on to this a little bit to set the stage. Samsonov has been Samsonov in the sense that he's been inconsistent. Game 2, he had an amazing game, I felt, in my opinion. But game 3, the whole Marchand stuff aside, take the whole Bertuzzi trip out. Don't even worry about that. Frederick's cutting in on the outside face-off circle, firing a very low percentage shot. Right, like an ECHL goalie should have that save, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like he's been okay. Like he had a bad game 1.
He did,
and so
yep.
Like he needed to rebound, otherwise he wouldn't have made it back.
Oh yeah, Wall was starting game 3 if he.
It was.
They'd have left him in Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably it would have been for his own safety.
We'll see you in a week.
Yeah,
Right.
it would have. But he's been okay. The goals, he like that one's bad, and you'd like to have a couple of those, but at the same time, like he's Ilya Samsonov at the end of the day, right? Like he's gonna give up some of those. That's just who he is, and
But you can't in the season. You can get away with that.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, you can't, and that's just it's another chink in the armor of the Toronto Maple Leafs trying to be a playoff team, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are obvious flaws with this team that you just can't get around. Like in the season, you can get away with them. Playoffs, no.
Okay. Yeah.
They're one of a half dozen teams where it's like, who's your starting goalie? And you're like, I don't know.
Sure.
Like Florida and Tampa, like who's your goalie? Well, it's Bob. It's Vasi.
Right.
It's Winnipeg. It's Hellebuck. Like
speaking of, does Boston do they break up the rotation going into Game 4, or do they stick with Swayman?
It's got to be Swayman. It has to be Swayman. Right? I understand that this is how you got here, right? This is the regular season. Blah blah blah. It's a different fucking beast. Play the fucking hot hand, man. I'm so sorry. Play the hot hand. I think that's the way that they need to go. He's looked good in both his games. Why would you, nothing against Ullmark, right? Ullmark maybe.
They didn't lose game 2 because of Ullmark.
No, they didn't lose because of Ullmark, right? But you got to, until Swayman shows you as the head coach that he's not fucking doing it anymore, you got to ride the hot hand. And the team's playing better in front of Swayman, I think.
I want him to play Ullmark. I really do. I want
how much is
you want to go to 7?
To me, I'm of the camp. Like last year, the criticism on the Bruins was like, how could you play Ullmark 6 games and not play Jeremy Swayman until the game 7?
Yep.
Like they got criticized for doing that last year. And I think this year, like you've done it all year. You're up in the series, like give him another game. And then you go back to Swayman and you just keep alternating like you've done. And then if you lose game 4, then you just ride Jeremy Swayman. But to me, like it's kind of gone according to plan. You stick with the plan. If you lose game 4, then you can change the plan.
Interesting.
Okay. So, but then at that point, Ullmark has lost 2, right?
Yes. And at that point, you can start going to Swayman. Like, but to me, going back and forth, like
they get 2 games each kind of thing.
Yeah, like let him. You go like keep with the plan now. You're up in the series. The plan is working.
And either way, Swayman starting game 5.
Yes, and then either way, you go to Swayman game 5, and then from there, you make a decision on Ullmark. Okay. Yeah, like I don't think they've reached the decision point yet. I think obviously things are working. You're winning the series. Like keep doing what you're doing because you've done it all year. Like these guys have been in a rotation all year. So like you keep them comfortable, keep them both ready, like, and just, ride it until you can't, like, and, and I don't think they're forced to make a decision yet. So,
damn, I came into this conversation, agreeing with Taylor, but I think Aaron just convinced me otherwise. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, and it's a good point. That's a really good point, but the percentage of you winning the series at 2-2 versus you winning the series at 3-1, totally different, right? You have a much higher percentage of winning at 3-1. So riding that hot hand, if you can get that third win, I don't think they can lose, right? I don't like, and not saying the team can lose. I think not, depending on what tendy they play, I don't think it's going to matter because again, like you said, those guys have been so good doing this shit all fucking year. For 2 years, essentially, right? So,
I think it's a win-win. They're both number one goalies, right?
Yeah,
like you're choosing between. It's not like you're like the Jets, and it's like, well, it's Connor Hellebuck or Laurent Brossoit. There's not like a huge drop off, right? Like it's a 1A, 1B. So, like, to me, just keep. I don't think they're at a point where they're forced to make a change to their plan.
Sure.
All right. I can wrap my head around that. Real quick, for Florida Tampa, who's got how do you think that's going to we're sticking by original picks, but if you how do you think it's going to end as things are now? Florida, Tampa, real quick. They get the sweep. I think they get the sweep.
No, I don't think they get the sweep, but I think
Okay.
it's still. I mean, it's Florida and probably 5. I think it's like 95% chance that they win if they're up 3 rip or something, right? Like it's stupid. So
yeah, I think they get the sweep.
Yeah, I probably still think Tampa gets a game or 2, so I'll probably say 5. But yeah, I don't. I think it's over. But again, Tampa hasn't played that bad. I think they might. They get a bounce or 2, and
they can make it interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stick with my original pick, Boston in 5, baby.
Ooh, Brad Marchand on you, huh?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, seeing Boston win in Toronto, I'm going to go. I think Boston at 6. I think I had this originally going at 7, but I like Boston. They're under their skin.
We're still sticking to our original picks, but I'm just saying like if you're weighing it right now and if you could kind of thing.
Yeah, that'll work. I'll stick with it.
Yep. I had Bruins in 6. I still like that. So.
Yep. New York and Washington. I don't even. You guys talk about it if you want. New York and 4, and that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah. According to Tom Wilson, they've outplayed New York except for 5 minutes in game 1 or something.
This is more of at least the Islanders like try sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes the Islanders have flashes of like, okay, Patty Waugh has done something, or they're Varlamov made a save or something like that. I just every once in a while there's flashes. This series just New York is the better team.
Yeah, I predicted a sweep. I feel great about it.
I love my sweep. I'm gonna stick with my sweep.
Okay, did you guys think the Panarin hit on Oshie was dirty?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I think what I don't like about it is I know like Subban kept bringing it up. I don't like the word premeditated. I think it was on purpose. I think he definitely him and Oshie were jabbering before the hit, and it's one of those things where Panarin wanted to do everything he could to blow Oshie up.
Yeah,
he could have easily taken shoulder on a hit like that, and he decided to cut in front and smoke him in the chest and got a piece of his head. But realistically, I think that the point of contact starts here, right? I mean, it's right at the upper chest, which just naturally, right, as you're in a hockey skating position, it's going to get your chin a little bit. So
yeah,
I don't think it was necessarily dirty, but Panarin is going to see. I know he saw a little bit from it. Panarin's going to see a little bit of fucking chin music because he did not need to make that hit against Oshie, and he decided that he needed to. So I think he needs to see a little chin music, and it'll be a shame if the Caps don't give it to him.
He'll get a sense, but like also just not a play you see Artemi Panarin make. Like that's not a hit he ever throws. And I think it was like a legal hit. I don't have a problem with the hit. Like he's not. I don't think he's trying to pick his head or anything like that. Like he to me, it looks like he's like trying to just put his shoulder like into his chest. And
yeah, it's just a good hit.
Yeah, and so I don't have a problem with it necessarily, but like it was just like holy shit, like Panarin threw that hit. Like
Panarin threw that hit. Yeah,
that's not a thing he does. Like so,
I think it's still very targeted, right? Like you show the whole shit.
Oh yeah.
And Oshie's jabbering at him because, I think there was some sort of non-high stick stuff going on, right? I think is what it was. Yeah. And so he's definitely targeting him. So if Panarin thinks that he's going to have just a free pass for, it is a legal hit. I mean, it's a fine hit. It's not fully head contact like I'm sure a lot of Caps fans would love to hear.
Oh, God.
But Panarin needs to fucking answer that bell because – if I'm anyone on the Caps after he didn't need to make that hit and it was a fucking pissy at he just had a piss ass attitude, he's getting the fucking lumber, that's for sure. So I hope he's got his head up.
Yeah, next shift he's getting a stick to the back of the ankles or something like that for sure, 100%. But that's playoff hockey,
Sure. That carries all season or
anybody
carries
who's
all
complaining. Anybody who's complaining about that, it's the people that we hear during the season, right? Like during the season, we don't see this type of physicality. We don't see this type of hockey every game because it's impossible to keep up this pace for 82 games. So, guys don't necessarily finish their checks all the time and whatnot. But when they do in the season, then we hear the people that are the skills folks, the college hockey fans. No offense, Aaron. It's the folks of like
you fucking pussy.
Famously nobody hits in college hockey.
No, what I mean is like there are those purists out there of like the game that just want skill. Like there's so many skill guys in the league now. Physicality just takes that away, and that's not wrong, but I still don't care. Like at the end of the day, this is a contact sport, and if you can't be skilled enough to avoid a hit or take a hit, then you can't be in the game. That's kind of how my thought is, and I know that kind of sucks to a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of NHLers that wish that the league wasn't hitting, but it is, unfortunately, for them. So
if I was in the league, I would not want hitting because I'm a little guy.
I was gonna say, like, as somebody who would directly have benefited from a non-hitting sport when I was younger, I still think that hitting should be in it. Yeah. Oh, I would have much more thrived in a game that didn't have me going up against 6'2" guys and get my head taken off.
I still laid my fair share of fucking dunks, but
sure,
all good.
All right. Last but not least, let's finish off the East here. Carolina, the Islanders. I don't have too much to say on this. I mean, I have more to say about it than I do the Rangers series, because it does look like the Islanders have some moments, but God, the mismatch here is just so
big time.
The crazy stat of like shot attempts, it's like 130 something to like 40 or so. It's ridiculous.
Carolina was plus 100 shot attempts in 2 games.
It's crazy. They're they're the better team. They're just built better.
By a lot. And I don't like tonight there was the big, they start Patty Waugh started Sorokin to see if that was going to inject something. Did kind of the opposite. Sorokin did not play well and got yanked. Varlamov came in again. There's just not much to hear. Like even on the Islanders' best day, they're just not as good as Carolina. Sorry.
Yep. I mean, you're hoping, if you're the Islanders, you're hoping that Sorokin comes into the series and is hot as fuck. Is going to just steal you some games. And he came in colder than a fucking ice pack and didn't even start the series, right? Like that was your only hope. And Varley was playing very good, but Varley's been a backup goalie, right? Like he's been the backup on this team for a while. So, I don't remember the exact stretch. I think it was like 8 of the last 10 games down the stretch or something he played. He's fucking tired, right? Yep. Like, it just was a recipe for disaster, and Carolina's just a way better team. So, I think that the funniest thing from this series is definitely the Gensel empty netter. Shit's hilarious, dude. Yeah. What the fuck are we doing, dude? That's crazy. Getting that pissy about
it. We're getting pissed off now about empty net goals.
Yeah, you're not allowed to score empty net goals.
Yeah, I mean, if a fight happened after empty net goals, now I'm open to it becoming a thing. But
pushing and shoving and like, what the fuck, dude? And Aho literally skates up and he's like, "Hey, dude, can you chill? Like the game's over." And fucking what is it, Paul Mary or whoever, just grabs him and is like, "Let's fucking go!" Like, what the fuck, dude? Let's just take a little chill pill, bro.
I love it. I again sticking by my pick, and I think my original pick is right, but I'm gonna go with I don't think they get a game. I think they're gonna get swept.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, dude. They don't look good at all. They just look discombobulated. There's only so much that Patty can do, man.
They're just outmatched.
Yeah, they're outmatched.
And I think that's my difference between between the Rangers Caps and this series with the Carolina and the Islanders, is that the Islanders are like, even on their best day, they're just not as good as Carolina. Whereas Washington's a bad hockey team. Like they're not good. Like they shouldn't be here. At least the Islanders can say like, yeah, we had a late season push and we kind of put it together a little bit. And Varlamov stole us some games. Like Washington's like, yeah, Charlie Lindgren decided that he's actually 23 years old and is going to drag us kicking and screaming into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to force Ovi to play more hockey games.
Right. Right.
Oh, no, Ovi's a bad. That's a whole.
Ovi just wants to go to
Ovi doesn't.
Cancun.
Ovi, these goals don't count.
Yeah.
These goals don't count toward the record. He doesn't give a shit.
Poor guy.
Bro's got his cup, man.
Yeah, he's.
He's so old, dude. He's like 2 years older than me. He's so old.
Right.
Anybody in the NHL that's older than me, like long may he reign. They're all the best.
Right.
They're the greatest hockey players of all time.
Keep going.
All right, Taylor, you want to pay some bills?
Yeah, sure do.
All right, tell me a little bit about degenerate gambling.
If you are a degenerate gambler, the chase for the Stanley Cup is on. And if you're looking to light the lamp, nothing beats action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From the start of playoff beards all the way till hoisting of the cup, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. That's fun shit if you haven't done that. In-game betting, that's good stuff. Definitely jump on that. Yeah. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN as in the Hockey Podcast Network. New customers bet just $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's code THPN only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit West Virginia. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/ice for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved.
Love it. Love it.
Why is West Virginia is just tossed in there? It's just like West Virginia. Fuck?
Now, Mama, take me home. I'll be here. I'll be down at the Monterey Cafe singing that song here.
There you go. Good on you.
Yep, check it out. All right, let's jump on over to the West here. Let's start with a bit of a surprise series, I guess you could say. Let's go Dallas and Vegas.
Okay.
That's the only. Actually, I'll pull it over if I can. Nope, I can't. Hold on.
Boo!
It's the only jersey I own of a team that's still in the playoffs. I don't count the Winnipeg sweater that I'm currently wearing because it's not a jersey. But yeah, I was a big Vegas fan at one time, so I can't lie. I'm not going to pretend it didn't happen. Vegas up 2-0 in the series, both wins on the road. Guys, analysis on this. Are the Vegas Golden Knights back, or did they never leave?
I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights are literally icing a team and a half based on their salary cap. So,
Sure.
they're just a very good team. So it's a tough draw for Dallas, who Dallas really hasn't played bad, right? I think yesterday they took that 1-1 game, I think, into the third period.
Otter's been a bit shaky. In my opinion.
Otter's been a bit shaky all year. Otter got injured like 20, 30 games in and has looked a little shaky. So I just, and
it doesn't look like Otter.
It doesn't look like Otter. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from Vegas as much as I fucking hate them. Vegas is a very good team. Dallas looks okay, looks fine, right? Like they don't look exactly like the team that we kind of expected coming in, but I think this team still has that ability to go into Vegas and take, if not 2 games, at least 1 game, right? I mean, there's a very good chance that this team can go in there. They've played 2 really good games. But
if they go back to Dallas, down 3-1, like it's over, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen crazier shit. They have to get the next game. I think if they go down 3-1 and they go down 3-rip and then get 1 on the end of it, they're done. If they win that next one, they got life.
You would think having their previous coach would like really help you get in the minds of them, and it's obviously not working.
I don't think that matters. It's a whole different system.
Don't think so?
No, I think it's a whole different system.
What I'm saying is like, yeah, sure, Bruce Cassidy comes in and puts in his own system, but DeBoer knows these guys and knows their nature and knows what they're prone to do and whatnot. And you would think that would be at least semi-helpful.
I think you could almost overthink it at that point, right? If that's the way you're going about it is, I know what Marchessault is going to do on the third shift in the second period. right? Like you're too technical. I think you're thinking about it too much. So yeah, I mean, this just brings me back to, I don't know if Peter DeBoer is a playoff coach. I've said it before, and we'll see. I think Dallas still has
Cup final, right? With San Jose, we went to the Cup final.
Yeah, that was a fluky year though, right? Wasn't that the year that they shouldn't have beat Vegas? Isn't that's the year I'm thinking of, right? Where it was the fucking 3-goal.
The 5-minute major.
Yeah, exactly. The 5-minute major year, right? I think that was that's an asterisk a little bit to me. So,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Dallas has the right team but they have to win this next one. If they don't win this next one, I mean, it's clearly over. They could win the next two, and they're not going to win that series. So,
right.
If they're down 3-2, they're just not going to win the series. So,
Aaron, give me some stats from a Dallas perspective here. Like, do I have any reason to be positive?
I mean, you have reason to be positive. The team's been playing well. Like like in game one, they had like a bad couple of minutes, and then they largely drove play for the rest of the game. Like, it's another case. Like, it's not that Dallas has played bad. Vegas has just played a little bit better, and like that's. So if you're Dallas, like, I think you're still at the point of, we're just gonna keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're driving play, you're getting chances. Like, you got to get more shots in front of Logan Thompson, but like, you've been playing okay. Like, I think they probably still have a lot of confidence going into Vegas, but yeah, if they go down 3-0, it's, that's a tall task for anybody, but I'm never going to count this Dallas team out. Like, they're too good. They've got too much experience. Like, they're too deep. Like,
there are a significant number of brackets out there that have Dallas winning the cup. Yep. So dropping in the first round, I think it's my pick, because I was surprised, like, even like posting our graphic the other day of all of our picks, like, I was the only one who picked Vegas, and I understood where all you guys are coming from. Like, it's like you said, Aaron, it's not that I don't think Dallas is a good team. It's just like Vegas has been playing crippled and down people basically half the season. We haven't seen a full, like, healthy Golden Knights team going into the playoffs. And sure, is that, are they here with that roster because they're being a little unethical? They're being unethical. Absolutely. But for the same reason that people hate them for this is the same reason why I love them for it, because I'm so sick and tired of NHL GMs playing it safe. I'm so sick of us saying, after every trade deadline, you get those, really pussy GMs that are like, well, it's just so hard to make a trade happen during the season. Fuck off. Like, it's not. Like, the Vegas Golden Knights have done it every single year that they've been in the league, and they're fucking going to the cup. It seems like every year. Like, it's not that hard. Like, God forbid they're trying to, like, improve their roster every year and trying to win the Stanley Cup every single year. That's what every team should be fucking doing.
So I've got some stats for you. So Vegas in the playoffs, Vegas has the second to worst expected goals, but one of the highest goal differentials. So they have 35% of the expected goals in the two games that they played. They have 57% of the actual goals. So if you're Dallas, you're looking at it and you're like, we've gotten 65% of the expected goals, and we're just not getting bounces. Like, only the Hurricanes have been a better team by expected goals.
Let's just say I don't think Logan Thompson has been solid in this series. He's been fine, but so is Otter. But whereas Thompson's been going fine to good, Otter's been going fine to not so good. So that might be a difference maker.
I mean, you kind of look at those numbers, right? Like, it reminds me a lot of the Carolina-Florida series last year, right? Like, Carolina might have been the better team. They weren't getting any bounces. Like, there was definitely times where they were running those games and they just weren't getting the bounces. So, not to make excuses for Dallas. I think, this is hockey, baby. This is why we watch this shit, is because this kind of shit can happen.
They win the next one, they're right back in it, and
I completely agree. If they get it to 2-1, Obviously I'd love to see them take 2. If they take 2 in Vegas, we're not even talking about this. And there's a very good chance that I'm going to make my first post on X in 2 years, because I'm going to fucking just let the Vegas fans hear it, because they're like, Vegas has this like,
the fans are not good. Like
the fans are terrible, dude. They're hard to fucking watch, dude.
All of my like admiration for Vegas is in the ownership, the mentality, and the players on the team. Like the actual product of it, I don't. It's like the opposite of like how I look at the Leafs. Like I hate the Leafs, but like the fans are the fucking worst, and the media is absolutely terrible around the team. So I agree with you on that, 100%. Like, I get it. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to see them fail, and it's purely on the fans, right? Like the GM is doing what he needs to do, right? Mm-hmm. Like
he's trying to win.
Technically,
what a concept!
Yes, and I don't like what they're doing with the LTIR, but it's within the rules, right? We're not cheating. We're just we're using the rules in an advantage.
In fact, all the GMs are totally okay with it. All the GMs are totally okay with it. Even though they're all too frightened and scared to use this tactic, they're all totally fine with Vegas doing this.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why they're probably afraid to use this tactic? Because a lot of them are hockey players. A lot of them grew up playing the sport, know the fucking sport, and they know that there's just this honesty and honorary competition that we're trying to have here. We're not fucking around with this shit and basically saying, yeah, I know your spleen is like tiny little spice. And like, don't get me wrong, he was hurt, right? I completely understand that. They're totally fucking with that LTIR.
Oh, you don't need
to. They've done it for 3 years, right? They've done it for 3 years. You
don't need to asterisk that. Like it's a pattern. Like he's done this.
It's a pattern at this point.
And he conveniently was ready for game 1, like we all thought he was going to be. Like you don't need to asterisk that. He definitely. Was he hurt? 100%. Sure. But was he fine in a week or 2? Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that has to do with, right, like if you've been there, if you've been on the ice, if you've had that you've played competitive hockey in any sort of caliber, it's just like it doesn't feel right. You have that yuck, you have that nasty little feeling for doing something like this.
Yep.
And McCrimmon just doesn't have that. And that's, I think, comes with just, don't like it if it's not cheating, right? We've gone over this. It's not cheating, but it's nasty. It doesn't feel good. And he's completely okay with doing that. It's probably the reason that he's Taylor, in a position that he's in, right? Like, come on.
Taylor, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
It's totally fair. He's a piece of shit. I think he's a snake. It's fine.
No, you're not wrong. Like he's a greedy business, but like he's going to take advantage of every loophole.
Yeah.
Totally. And it sucks, and it goes against the culture and the nature of our game, because we like to think of ourselves as, I'm going to put the best that I have on the ice against your best, and whoever comes out on top is I get that. Totally understand that. And when you do this kind of shady shit, sketchy's better.
Sketchy shit.
You do this sketchy shit, you're definitely cheating it. But if everybody can cheat it, then I guess it's not really an advantage. Yeah, it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just going to be a thing where we see, all the star players of all the playoff teams going down on February, 10th, right before the trade deadline.
Yeah. And we're going to see 120 million.
And you know what? That's when
rosters.
It gets fixed. That's when it gets fixed. Now, if it's just Vegas and Tampa doing this every once in a while, it's going to be no big deal. But once we start getting to like half the team doing this at the trade deadline, then Gary Bettman will step in and change it.
Right.
But by the time they get
to 6 fucking cups. Yeah.
I agree.
By the time they get to negotiating the new CBA, no one's going to have an appetite to fight for this. The owner, like the players don't care because they're getting paid, and the owners don't care because it's immaterial at the end of the day. Really.
Let's say like the stupid argument that like Stone doesn't want to be missing games. Stone doesn't give a flying fuck.
No, he doesn't give a shit.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's so like no one's going to care of all the things you're trying to haggle out in a CBA. Neither side is going to want to make this the hill that they're going to die on.
Right.
Because like at the end of the day, the owners are going to be like, if you want to pay that guy, I don't give a shit. Like, you're just spending money at the end of the day. Like that's really all it is. And the players are getting paid, And the owners, I don't think have like that's not going to be the thing that they're trying to go after when they're trying to take like guaranteed contracts. Like they're not going to get bent on the axle about LTIR.
Yeah, and the GM looks great. GM looks great pushing deep into the playoffs every year because of something like this. So,
and your owner has to be willing to spend, and not all the owners are. Like,
it's true. It's very true. Yeah,
very true indeed.
I knew it was going to go down that hill because look, they're not cheating, right? I don't like the people who are saying they're cheating.
No, they're not cheating.
They're literally they're doing what they're doing between
every other team can do this.
Yeah, I think it's just slimy, right? Like,
agreed. Slimy is the best way to put it. Yes.
If you are that GM, right? If you're McCrimmon and you don't feel a little fucking slimy about it, and the more that he gets away with it and they win cups, he's not going to feel fucking slimy about it, right? So it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Like, it's crazy to me. Tighten that LTIR up, baby. Give him one fucking player.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give him $5 million.
Yep. I agree. All right, let's move on from Vegas. I think I'm going to stick with my original pick here. I still think Vegas gets it. I think I had Vegas in 7. Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think so. That sounds right.
Sounds right. I guess I could pull up our
6 or
picks.
7.
Are you guys?
I'm feeling ballsy. I'm going to stick with Dallas in 7, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not willing to give up on the Stars yet.
Yeah,
so.
Not yet. They lose that third one. Like next week, there's a very good chance, right? If they're down 3-1 or 3-0, and it's or I guess it would be 3-1 at that point. Yeah, it's done. But they still got they got some fight.
Yep, I still like my pick. I mean, if it's 3, then it's going to be less games. But I like my Vegas pick. That's pretty good. My picks have been doing all right. That's honestly not too bad. Moving on. Speaking of, this arguably, and I'm going to kick it over to you guys on this one. This might be the most entertaining series of the playoffs so far. Am I wrong?
It's the weirdest. Like,
are you going down the list? Like, which one?
Winnipeg, Colorado. Winnipeg, Colorado.
Yeah, Winnipeg, Colorado. Like, I mean, game 1 was a shit show. Just
that was a gong
in
show.
General, like
that was a gong show.
Yeah,
that was a trap.
And then game 2, like a really strong game from Colorado. Like I still don't know what to make of this series. Like it because that first game was so out of character for everybody involved. Like I still don't have a good sense of this series yet.
I think this is your perfect, just quintessential game 7. It for sure will go to 7 because we're gonna see this. Totally. I think we see 1-1, then we see 2-1, then we see 2-2, then we see 3-2, then we see 3-3, right? Like this series has that feel to it, to where like you would think home ice advantage would play a role, right? So I still like Winnipeg in 7 in this, but that's the way it's starting to feel, right? It's starting to feel like, okay, next game Winnipeg's going to come out and they're going to be like, fuck that. We did not like the way we played game 2. Let's just dust these guys, right? And it's just going to go back and forth.
All you need is Connor Hellebuck to remember that he's Connor Hellebuck.
And at some point he will.
And then at some point, that first game, that was just, you're right. Crazy. Aaron, you pointed out like that was a gong show. Like that was just like it's going to be one of those games. Got it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that happens in the playoffs. Like you get one of those. You get one of those games that's like 7-8 and you're like, okay, cool. Like love those. The second game was more like the team started getting into their systems a little bit more. I don't think we have seen peak Connor Hellebuck yet. Whereas Gorgiev, I just learned that Avs fans call him Forgiev.
Yeah.
Because he gives up 4?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's
I fucking love that.
That's beautiful. That's so fucked up.
I did not know that was a thing, and I love it. I don't necessarily, I mean, as Kraken fans, we definitely know that the Avs don't necessarily, it's not like you go to Colorado and it's an immediate win for the home team. So I'm not necessarily married on that. I think it's very possible that they split games in Colorado and go back to Winnipeg tied at 2. This could be this is definitely going 7, 100%. I don't doubt it for a second. I love all your usual suspects. God, man, that scene in game 1, I know they lost that game, but fucking McKinnon, oh my God, like he just took it coast to coast. Do you remember the scene?
Stupid.
My God, like I almost got like nervous too, and I wasn't even there. I was like, if he's coming down on me full speed, I'm like, what do you do? What do I do?
You gotta trip him. There's no way to stop
I gotta
him.
dive and take out his fucking legs.
That's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
It's
you
like
can't skate backwards as fast as he could skate forward.
Even McDavid can't do that. Like where he just gets on his horse, man, and he just plows through and walks around. He makes everyone look like they're standing still, and they're not. Like they're actually moving, trying to stop him, and he's so fucking fast.
Yeah, the one I always think about is Alex Pietrangelo. He was mic'd up for an outdoor game.
I remember this.
Yeah, against the Avs, and McKinnon's coming down, and Pietrangelo's trying to get going backwards, and you just hear him go, "Uh-oh," and then McKinnon like cuts across him and just rings it off the post and in, and you're just it's like, yeah, like what are you gonna do? Like,
it didn't lead to a goal, so the replay might be hard to find. But if you're listening to this or watching this, I try to find it on YouTube or something. It's classic McKinnon in his element, where he just takes the puck and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go end to end. I'm tired of passing. I'm tired of doing systems. I'm just gonna take this end to end because I can, because I'm Nathan McKinnon, and I don't know what sugar tastes like because I haven't had it since I was 9.
It's not a life I'm trying to live.
That's that's just what I'm gonna do, and through my non-sugar body, I'm going to just walk around every single one of the players, even my own teammates. I'm gonna walk around them too.
Yeah. Just don't fucking move. I'm going around you.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around every single person on this ice, and I'm gonna get a shot on goal, and that's what he did. He didn't score, but goddamn, man, it was like that is I literally I remember watching that in the bar, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's the thing is he doesn't do that every fucking time he's on the ice. No. Right. So it's not this like selfish, I think of more of the kids that were just sitting up at the fucking blue line cherry picking, right? Like that's selfish hockey. Right. Like he's literally just like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of this. Let me literally just blow by you because I fucking can. Yeah. And I think that's dope as hell. So
I'm not gonna force a pass. I'm gonna make it happen.
Like myself. I'm not passing this puck. Like I have a fucking lane, and if I don't have a lane, like I'm so quick. Someone makes one little twitch to the fucking right, I'm going to the fucking left. Like, it's just he's seeing it fucking slowed down, and it looks fucking crazy to us. So yeah.
Last thing from me on that, shout out to Nemestikov for his like falling slap shot goal. I thought that was pretty rock star.
Yeah, my big rock star moment in this series was the whiteout in Winnipeg, and then there's the fucking salmon shirt guy, and they had the salmon shirt. Yeah. They had the salmon shirt chant going on. They were chanting salmon shirt. So shout out to Winnipeg. That's fucking hilarious.
I love that. Embracing the one guy.
Yeah.
Yep. We didn't even talk about the jersey faux pas in the Bruins Leafs series. The fucking
that person doesn't deserve. I don't want to amplify that.
That tweaker that just shamelessly, crudely duct taped Leafs shit over his Bruins jersey.
That's ugly, dude.
Stupid.
So terrible. I wanted to hit it.
Tweaker. Jesus. That's somebody's kid, Chance.
Yeah. Well, I've said a lot worse on this show.
Good. Fuck. All right. What do we got? All right. We got 2 series left, huh?
Yeah. So everybody still comfortable with their picks on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Winnipeg still hasn't found their full game yet. So
I agree. All right. Vancouver, Nashville. This has been a fun one to watch. Kind of chippy, honestly. A little more. This is obviously one of the more like lower key series. But of the lower key series, I like this one the most. It's been fun. It's been fun to watch. I've actually, for some reason, I guess the timing just works out because both games have been on the West Coast and they've been like right when I can watch both. But I've watched both those games. They've been fun. And it's just shown to me that, like, yes, Vancouver is the better team, but through the power of friendship and love, Nashville is just they're just playing together, man. Like they're a good, solid unit that is not going to give up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Demko being out is huge.
That's going to hurt. I think that's going to hurt a lot.
I think every Vancouver fan, even folks around the league are going to look at this and, Vancouver continues to throw the word asterisks around, which I think is hilarious. This happens, right? This fucking happens. There's no
got to play through it
here. You got to play through this shit. So yeah, I really liked what I saw from Nashville in Game 3. Big dudes, the Nashville big players played really well in Game 2 when they needed to. Right, they were down 1-0.
Yep.
They didn't look at the Demko shit and go, yeah, like Vancouver deserves to win this.
They didn't lose that game because of Casey DeSmith.
Oh no, they didn't. They did not. They lost that game because EP40 decided to miss an empty net, and it's shit that happens, right? Like
Plus, I don't know if you've heard of this guy. I mentioned this before, but you might have forgotten him already. This guy Ryan O'Reilly. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, I think he's
all right.
Pretty decent hockey player.
He's such a gamer, dude. He's honestly like if this Nashville team had just a fucking second line, right? I think we'd be looking at them a lot differently.
If I was coach from Letterkenny, I'd say he's got grit. He's got jam.
Oh, he's got jam. It's fucking embarrassing. Yeah, it's just so I liked what I saw from Nashville in Game 2, and they're going back to Nashville, right? So, in my opinion, yeah, I don't disagree. I think Casey DeSmith still played a good game. I think the team was actually playing better hockey, and this is me just from an outside perspective looking in. I think they were playing better hockey with Seelovs back there. So I'd be curious to see if they end up giving him a shot. I definitely, if they lose this next one with DeSmith in the pipes, I think there's a good chance that we see Seelovs. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think a lot of it really does ride on Vancouver's top 6 because they really didn't look good in Game 2. They looked okay in Game 1, right? So I think a lot of that, you can't Dakota Joshua just can't fucking score all the goals. You can't bank on fucking Zadorov burying one of your goals last game, right? You got to get a little more production.
Pedersen's going to see that empty netter in his sleep.
Oh fuck, forever. Like he will see it on his fucking.
That will haunt him forever. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Aaron, you might have to confirm this, because you're plugged in just as much as I am. But I even heard a rumor that Besser wasn't at practice.
That wasn't. He wasn't. He left early, but that wasn't anything.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna play.
Okay, good. So I mean, Casey DeSmith dropping obviously now shifts the goalie advantage to Nashville pretty solidly. Casey DeSmith has proven in the past that he can play, but has been very inconsistent as of late. That could be an X factor here. But like I said, I think it's just it's one of those things where sometimes teams just click, and Nashville's one of those teams. It'll eventually run out. I'm getting back when the Oilers, or not the Oilers, the Islanders, when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals kind of thing, where you're like, how the fuck are they doing this? And you're like, it's the power of trots and friendship. That's it. I'm getting those vibes.
It was being the most boring team in the history of hockey.
Yeah,
and just being very defensively responsible and then scoring 2 goals. And then, I mean, they lost a 1-0 Game 7 to go to the Stanley Cup final.
Sure. So I don't, and it's not 1-1, obviously, but I get those vibes of just everybody's playing their positions. Everybody's playing their assignments. Everybody's doing what they have to do to win. And I mean, honestly, to me, that's a reflection of coaching. And that's, what is it?
Brunette, I love Brunette, dude.
Andrew Brunette.
Yeah,
I love Andrew Brunette, dude.
Fantastic. I think that he's a fantastic coach, and should get Vezina, honestly, or at least be in consideration for, or not Vezina.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid goaltender.
He's a solid Tendy.
He
was like 950 this year.
Yeah, that's right. He's fucking crushing.
That's right. Jack Adams, at least in the consideration, because this Nashville team was also in the same boat as Vancouver, where we didn't think that they were going to do anything. So this is a great series. I love it. Going back to Nashville, I love that. Going back to Nashville, man, I think of all of the playoff barns and playoff atmospheres, Nashville's is just so underrated because we still think of Nashville as one of those expansion teams that's not real. But man, every time I watch on TV or something, or I talk to somebody that's been there, the playoff atmosphere, they fucking love the Preds, man.
Nashville's a hockey town.
Yeah,
I used to go there once a quarter for my old job, and you'd see Pred shit everywhere. The arena is right off Broadway. It's right downtown. all their games are fucking packed. Like it's a legit hockey market. Like they fucking love
you know that Taylor Swift is gonna fucking be there, and or Carrie Underwood's gonna sing the anthem, or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah, it's something like that.
She was like chirping Boston fans, right? About or some shit. Like when the Nashville made their cup final run, wasn't that Carrie Underwood?
I don't remember.
Probably.
You have to pull that up.
I'll see if
I surprised, but you know they've got something planned in store. Like Nashville's gonna be great. Like it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be an absolute barn burner there. Not that it seems like the Vancouver fans are they lost one game and they're already willing to burn the city down. So
dude, did you see the commercial that they made for Casey DeSmith?
No.
Holy fuck. They literally, it's like multiple people. Honestly, it has the feeling of pretty close to like a dog rescue commercial. Like basically oh my God. All right. You guys got to watch it.
Sarah McLachlan? Is Sarah McLachlan?
Pretty, like it's as close to Sarah McLachlan as you can get. And they're basically they're like, if your name isn't Casey DeSmith, stop watching now, or this isn't for you. Right. And then they start talking like, Casey, we believe in you, and they just go through the whole fucking.
Why is the Vancouver marketing team so cringe?
Oh, they're so bad.
Were they wearing the shirts?
Probably. I honestly, that was too damn cringe for me, bro.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, okay. It was. There's been some good shit, and for I clicked on one of these links right on Twitter, and of course, like now it's just Vancouver fans and shit. So yeah, I seen some good shit.
It was the Florida Panthers. So Carrie Underwood during the playoffs, she was tweeting like goaltender interference, tweeting about goaltender interference, and like talking a bunch of shit on Twitter.
Okay, but this was back when her husband was playing.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, it was when they were doing the cup runs with Mike Fisher, and she would get into it with everyone on Twitter like every fucking game.
What a badass, dude.
If I ever get a Preds jersey one day, I'm still getting Fisher on it.
Fish. That's a really good one. I'm kind of a David Legwand guy, but
Legwand's good too. Yeah,
I'm Paul Correa. He's my favorite Nashville Predator.
Whoa. Yeah, me too.
That 1 year, Paul Correa.
Yeah, half a season.
That's right.
Love that for Paul. All right, we got one more series to talk about. Before we move on, you guys changing your picks on this one? I've got as I pull this up right now, I've got Preds in 7. Taylor's got Preds in 7. Bobby's got Canucks in 6, and Aaron, you got Preds in 6.
Yeah, no, I'm still feel good about it.
Yeah, no change. If Demko is out the whole series, I could see it maybe being 6.
Be tough.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Yep, I like my pick too. And Bobby probably still likes his. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We'll phone a friend.
There we go. I'll talk to him later. All right. Last series we got to move on to the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. Bitter rivals in the playoffs. A rivalry forged through the playoffs. This is the third year they've met in the playoffs?
In a row, dude.
Isn't that
crazy?
That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. So these two teams are very familiar with each other. I'm going to be honest. After game 1, it kind of looked like Edmonton was finally taking the step, and they're like, okay, we are better than you. We're in another level. You guys are not there yet. We're better than you. We're going to beat you. And then, LA, what was it? Adrian Kempe with the bat out of the air, or the redirect in the air?
Yeah,
that was sick.
That was sick. No, like I said, first game, McDavid's fucking doing a spinorama over to Hyman. It looked like they were just running table on the Kings. And then all of a sudden, Kings come back in game 2. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
No, it was not pretty.
It was not pretty at all, but they did it. They got one. They even lost the lead there for a second. They had a 3-1 lead. So not good.
Yeah.
But that's why you've got people like Anze Kopitar. What do you guys think on this one?
You're not going to win a fucking boat race with Edmonton. So they cannot have another 5-4 game. The first game, I think it was 7-4. It wasn't 7-4. It should have been 7-1, 7-2. There was
some garbage time goals.
It was a garbage time goal. I mean, it it was complete Edmonton fest. I think Edmonton probably isn't happy with their game 2. And that should be concerning if you're LA, but you walked out of there with a fucking win, dude. You walked out of there tied up. Huh?
Is it Skinner in goal?
Yeah. Skinner both games.
Is he a concern?
I mean, he's always been a concern, hasn't he?
Okay.
I mean, I think
you're not wrong. No.
Yeah, I think we expected a little better than what he's put up through 2 games, but to what Aaron said, I mean, game 1, at least 2 of those were garbage time, right? Like, to me, he looked better than the stats look, and of course, there's one Kings account that just fucking kills me. I think it's like Clark for Norris or something, right? The guy is just such a fucking stat picker. It's hilarious, but he basically is showing like Talbot next to Skinner and how, I thought this wasn't going to be a goalie battle or some shit, right? And they're both just garbage. But yeah, I think if you're, I mean, I think if you're LA, you love coming out of there with 1 win, right? Like you got to feel good. You didn't even play your 2 best games. Definitely not 1. You barely played 1 good game up there and came away with a win. So,
Aaron, could you tell me what McDavid and Draisaitl stats were in game 2?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. 1 second. No, you're good. I'm just curious about that. Trying to see the correlation there if there is any. No, I'm not. I mean, as I try to like to say that it's not necessarily that I have confidence in LA in this series. It's that the weakness of the Edmonton Oilers is very well known. Like it's not like we need to sleuth it out or we need to try a couple different things to figure out what works. Like we know what works against the Edmonton Oilers. You just need to do it. That's why there is minor hope for the LA Kings. I still don't think that they're a good team. And my thoughts on Cam Talbot in this are quite clear over the course of multiple episodes. I don't think he's had it. And even in the game that they won, I don't think he's got it. He's not a clutch goalie. So
Draisaitl had a goal and an assist. McDavid had 2 assists, and then Hyman had a goal.
Okay.
That's game 2?
Yeah, that was game 2.
It just goes to show again the top heaviness of this team.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I mean, I don't take away anything from that top line. And yes, is Zach Hyman fitting in swimmingly on that top line? Absolutely, not taken away from it. But once he gets off the ice, once they get off the ice, it's a different squad. And I don't know. I still like my pick of Edmonton. I'm going to keep that pick, but I mean, can't change any of the picks, but like hindsight wise, I still would stick with what I've got for Edmonton. I think I said Edmonton in 6. No, I think I said Edmonton in 4. Okay. I don't remember doing that, but
feeling good.
I don't remember doing that. I could have swore I said Edmonton in 5, but I could be wrong.
No, you hadn't picked a sweep yet, so you said that was your sweep.
I think that was me. I think I did. I think I picked.
I was going to say, I think I said Oilers in 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my sweep was the Rangers.
Yeah. Either way, this is just gonna be a fucking slog, dude. Yep. Like if we're seeing Cam Talbot at the beginning of the season where he was healthy or not healthy, but just fresh, right, and hadn't played a full season. Yeah, I mean, like maybe he could steal LA some games. I mean, we need to get used to, and LA and Edmonton fans, like, don't get too cocky if by the end of this series, your team, like Connor McDavid has the most points in the league by fucking 10, because there's a good chance that every single game of the series is going to be 6-5 and 4-3 and 7-4, right? Like, it's going to be this fucking shootout. And, it'll be interesting. I just don't think LA quite has the firepower to do it. But to your point, Chance, I mean, Edmonton's bottom guys, the Corey Perrys of the world, those kind of players have to fucking show up, and they've been okay. So I think that I have no concern with that top line. Obviously, McDavid helps, but Henrique and Hyman with him have looked really good. I think on the other side, I think Kopitar has looked all season like he's ready to play in the playoffs. So. I think it'll be a good series. I don't give a shit who wins this fucking series because I hate both teams. Fair. And to me, realistically, like I would hate to cheer for LA, but the Ducks get a better pick if Edmonton gets knocked out. So I don't like. It's just all negative. Like it's all
you're
negative.
thinking 20 steps ahead.
Yeah, I'm playing chess over here, and LA and Edmonton are trying to play checkers against each other and fucking just blast. Like they have triple kings on and shit. I don't know what they're doing, dude.
All right, fair enough. Aaron, you got anything to add to that?
To that, no.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, that's right. No notes.
That's right. Shut the hell up. Just listen. Right. I'll finish this. Let's just cut this right here.
Yeah.
All right. I do think I'm gonna edit because I do think I said Edmonton in 5. I do like my pick of Edmonton in 5 still, but I don't care. And pretty much whoever leaves this series, I will root against them. So, like, right. Regardless, like whoever wins the Vancouver Nashville series, I'm going to root for them against whoever wins this series. So it doesn't. Yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm kind of in Taylor's boat on this. Yeah, I hope both teams lose. I don't see them making either one of them. I don't see them making past the next round.
See, I think whoever wins this round
goes to the final.
Might be the favorite against Vancouver Nashville. Like,
really?
I think so too.
Especially if it's the Oilers. Like, I and even the Kings. Like, if it's Kings Nashville, I'd probably favor the King. I think the Kings are a better team.
I take Nashville over the Kings.
So like
such a slog. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't trust either of those other teams. I trust the Kings and the Oilers as much as I don't trust them. When the other options are Vancouver and Nashville, I think I believe in the Oilers and the Kings more than those teams. So
Yep. Yeah. Word.
Okay.
Word to your mothers.
That's
something.
Shout out to your moms.
Yep.
That's right. All right. Anything else we need to talk about before we wrap up the episode? Any other hockey news out there? Anything in the world?
No hockey news. Hopefully your football team drafted who you wanted because we all know better than the professionals.
That's right.
So hopefully that happened.
That's right. All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you guys listening. Keep an eye out for our live stream on Sunday. We're going to be jumping on the Hockey Podcast Network channel and shamelessly trying to steal some of their viewers. So come on over, join us, and have some fun while we watch the Winnipeg, Colorado game.
There you go.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks. We'll see you later. Goodbye.